So Judge Sylvester ruled on this insanity plea that if James Holmes is to enter a not guilty by reason of insanity, he will then, as a condition of that plea, he will then have to first undergo psychiatric evaluation, but not only a psychiatric evaluation to see if he is sane or not sane, but a psychiatric evaluation which will include drugging with, quote, truth serum to, in Judge Sylvester's own words, quote, help him remember his state of mind at the time of the shootings. Now, if this is not a big red flag to all of you who had any kind of doubt left in your mind that this is a psyop and that the people involved are all guilty of serious corruption at just the deepest levels, we are in serious trouble when we let this go by and don't say something. It's obvious now. So he is openly suggesting or openly ordering that this man go through a drugging to see if he's sane, which in and of itself makes no sense to a rational person. Why would you put someone into an intoxicated state to find out their mental capabilities? I mean, according to them, to, the official story, he simply had taken some Vicodin. So why would putting him on these drugs get him back to his original state of mind? That in itself is an admission of guilt that he was on serious drugs. If he did commit this, serious drugs, such as these truth serum drugs, which are not a truth serum. They are mind control, MK Ultra style drugs, which are so powerful. They wipe people's memories. They completely can make someone susceptible to suggestion, completely alter their personalities, or they are such strong hallucinogens that they just freak people out to the point that these drugs are used as a torture mechanism to then get somebody to admit to something they haven't done, to get someone to do something they wouldn't normally do, because it is very scary experiences that these people are going through. And these drugs, and I will list them, that they will be using to find out if he is sane, are the following drugs. Sodium pentothal, sodium amytal, scopolamine, I can never say that one right, mescaline, LSD, and benzodiazepines, hypnotic benzodiazepines. All of these drugs, I'm sure that most of those names are pretty familiar, and we all can pretty much agree those are not what the effects of those are not going to be conducive to finding out anything of truth. What it will do is get what they want. They want either a guilty admission or they want a guilty plea. Now, this drugging may never happen because this man has been drugged before. This man has been tortured before. And I don't know the extent of that, but I am sure that it has happened. So just the threat of him having to go through this again would make him almost so scared that he would, I think, be willing to enter a guilty plea, and it ends right there. There is no trial. There's no evidence presented. Everything's done. Nice, clean package, and that's it. But if they do go through with this, they only have to, and I would advise you guys to go to the link to the actual documents concerning this order, but it's got so much language in there. Read through it all. It's a little confusing, but it does say that that he has confidentiality amongst these psychiatrists, but any incriminating evidence he does not have confidentiality to. So any recordings or whatever of goings on other than an admission other than him confessing. Anything else from that interaction would be inadmissible to court, meaning that it'll be out of the public view, out of the public scrutiny. We won't see that part. All we will see is the confession. So there very easily could be torture. There could be all kinds of things being said, and we would never know what those things are leading up to his confession in the end. And that is what will happen if he's drugged. He also, since he is indigent, will be at the mercy of the court to provide the psychiatric evaluators, which means that people from the outside will be coming in, whoever they choose, and most likely it'll be a, quote, expert in these kind of things, which means that it's probably going to be a CIA type person who is very skilled at this. And so you can pretty much guarantee that this poor man is going to go through some hell. I'm not saying poor man. I don't know if he's innocent, guilty, whatever. I know that he is not what we think he is. And this trial is a total fraud. That I am sure of. And it's disgusting. I also have to point out the fact that in Colorado last week we had the death penalty on trial. And with the enormous cost to the taxpayer and the very few who actually ever get executed, it seems pretty well, I don't know, a done deal, that this is an unnecessary and very costly expense that we can do away with, and still, there's no effect on crime. They've shown that. There's no reason for it. So why not just get rid of it? And I think that it's pretty much the sentiment amongst most people that would be an okay thing. Well, when they decided not to, they said, well, we'll probably get rid of it soon. But right now, we're just going to keep it on the books for right now. But they're actually talking about going back over it in a couple months. And I said to myself, why do they want it just right now? Because if he is guilty, or if he's going to plea bargain, which is right now what they're trying to do, because he doesn't want to put in this insanity plea, and I don't blame him, because then he would be put right into the hands of the Denver health medical people who back in November 15th, he was admitted to them, and his lawyer says that he was restrained, that he was tortured for days, and these are the people that he's going to go into their care. And I could see why he wants to avoid that, so he's going to offer a plea deal. He pleads guilty, and they then, since there is a death penalty still on the books, since it wasn't repealed, they then can so nicely offer him the deal of life in prison without the possibility of parole, the very max sentencing, other than the death penalty. They will waive his death penalty sentencing. And that's his big plea bargain,